Hello and welcome everyone to my channel. I am just going to do my quick little housekeeping stuff to make sure that we are all good. Okay, awesome. So I can definitely see the comments, which is perfect. Okay, so it looks like that we are all good and we are live. So welcome everyone back to my channel for another live class. If this is your first time with me, I'd like to say welcome. My name is Alexis, but I'm also known as Miss Trenchcoat all across the internet. I'm an online entrepreneur who helps ambitious women manage their time, energy, and expectations so they can get all their big thoughts, plans, dreams, and ideas out of their head and onto paper so they can get down to business creating their dream life. And that is what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be making our Q2 business plans. Actually, let me go ahead and adjust my chair real quick. Sorry. I think I need to be a little lower. And please excuse today because we're going to be doing like a live plan with me. I have my double camera set up. So one of the cameras is right there looking down onto my planner, and we'll go ahead and switch into that view in just a minute. But I really wanted to make sure I stopped and say hello to everybody. I know last week's class, I just kind of wanted to try something different and to see if for the sake of time, if I just jumped right into the class, if that would be better. But I definitely want to say hello to everyone. So if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and say hello in the comments. Let me know who you are, your name, where you're from. And if you have a business idea, if you want to share what your already existing business is, or maybe the type of business, if you're not really comfortable sharing details of your soon-to-be business, no problem. Just let me know maybe the type of business so I know who's here with me today. So let's see, I want to make sure I didn't. Okay, good. We're all good. Okay, so I took that stuff off screen, and now I'm going to go ahead and say hello to everyone. So good morning, Kelly. Good morning, Teresa. How are you doing from New York City? Yay, Alexa's going live again. I have been actually, you guys know what? I really wish, I shouldn't say that because if I really, really wanted to make it happen, I could go live like every week, I guess. And I really would like to get myself to that place where I had like a regular routine to go live. And I am thinking about it. I'm always thinking about it, I feel like. But I've been loving the last couple of weeks going live with you guys. So I think it's a lot of fun. I like interacting. I think that you guys get a lot more out of whatever I'm teaching or sharing with you guys when you're here live and you get to ask questions, because I don't know, I think it's very easy to go ahead and see a resource, watch a video, read a blog post, right? And feel like you got something out of it. But then when you have the opportunity to ask questions and clarify how it applies to your life, I think that's really where the best learning happens. So welcome back to Teresa. Hello, Edie from Maryland. Carol, welcome. Maria, hello. Joanne, welcome. Laura, girlfriend, hello, welcome. Jane, welcome from the UK. Carol is a self-employed bookkeeper. Let's see, where do we got going on here? Okay, Jane, okay, so Joanne from Katy, Texas, hopefully I'm saying that right. You're a psychotherapist and opening a coaching to women in the sandwich generation business. You're going to have to tell me more about what that means. I'm not familiar with that term. I'm not hip to all the cool coaching terms, if that's something. So let me know more about that. I'd love to hear more about that. It's interesting. Garden Coop Gal, good morning from Georgia. Let's see. Oh, Janan says, I think you're saying what your business is, creative workshop, resources, and retreat center. That's awesome. Kelly is an author, writing as Angela Drake. Ms. Mindful, good morning. Your name is Jules. Okay, you're a lifestyle coaching and journals to enhance the journey from California. Welcome. I think you're new. I'm seeing a few names that I don't particularly remember seeing necessarily before in the past, or at least we haven't interacted many times. You guys know when you've joined me live for a while, you've been in my community for a while, someone like Kelly and Carol and Edie, there's plenty, and Teresa, plenty of people who I know who you are. You know what I'm saying? I know when I see your name, I know you. Hello, Victoria. Edie said her business is Edie Loves Math. She does ADHD and autism for math. Nikki, welcome. She's from the UK. Brandy, welcome from Maine. Dory, welcome. She said this is a refresher. Oh, awesome. Yes, I hope this is a very motivating class to start the second quarter. Happily a Spiel from Austria, welcome. Mary Catherine, welcome in New York. She's working on health coaching and lifestyle. Awesome. Stephanie from Costa Rica, welcome. Oh, Janan is saying she also meant to send. She's tuning in from Canada. Welcome. Let's see. Sandwich generation. Joanne's getting back to me. People stuck between raising children and dealing with aging parents. Wow, that is a really interesting term. So that's a very specific niche, which is awesome that you've been able to actually really fine tune into who your ideal audience is. That's awesome. Let's see. It says Ms. Mindful said it's her first time chatting, been watching me for a long time. Well, that is why you're new. Your name is new to me, but now I will try to commit it to memory. And the more I see you in these lives, the more we will get to know each other for sure. Brandy is a writer. She's known as Lady V. Oh, Teresa's starting a VA business with the intention of opening a worldwide agency. That's some like really awesome CEO vision planning there. Christine from Utah, she's a medical office manager. Teresa from Switzerland, welcome. And hello gal. Hello, she's I'm creative and curious, longtime follower. Welcome. Okay, so it looks like I'm up to date with all of the welcomes. I would just like to say real quick that there are many of you watching and only a third, maybe a quarter of you have given a thumbs up. So you guys go ahead and give this a thumbs up if you're watching with me live. Miss Revive is also here. Welcome. She said she's glad to catch my live. Awesome. Okay, so welcomes are done. You know what the next order of business is. We're going to go ahead and do our guided meditation before I get into the whole process. So you guys, let's do our things, right? Let's get into our chairs or wherever you're sitting. Try to sit up, palms facing up, shoulders down, back. Puff your chest up a little bit, okay? We want to stand in more of like an empowered sort of a pose. And we're going to start the breathing exercise 3 times, and then I'm going to add in some affirmations for us to say together out loud. The affirmations will be on screen. And if you can say the affirmations out loud, it's definitely better for your mindset. If you do say them out loud, nice and like confidently. Okay, so we're going to go ahead with our breathing first. In through the nose. Hold at the top for 1, 2, 3. Release through with a sigh. Okay, there's our first little shift. 2 more times. In through the nose. Hold. Release with a sigh. And it's really good to have that audible sigh. You know that you've actually released tension. In through the nose 1 more time. Hold. Release. Okay, and now I'm going to read you some affirmations as we do this breathing. So continue to do that breathing. And when I put the affirmations on screen, you can say them along with me. I am ready to receive everything this class has to offer me. I am ready to receive all the knowledge Alexis is ready to share with me. I am ready to receive the inspiration, motivation, and guidance to manifest my dreams. I am ready to release all blocks and limiting beliefs holding me back from fulfilling my soul's calling. I feel myself now opening, expanding, and integrating everything I need to know to live my best life. I am guided, I am led, I am supported, I am enough. My work is enough, my intention is enough, my effort is enough. I am enough. Okay now. So, how do you guys feel after that meditation? Let me know in the comments. Do you guys enjoy that I do that? I always like to check in. I know many of you have said you liked it. Do you like having those affirmations? Do you like reciting them out loud together? I know we're not really physically together, so I think that makes it a little bit easier for us to kind of like say the affirmations out loud if we're in, a space where we can actually do that. But I want to let you know, as always, those affirmations are actually in the description box of the video. So if you want to copy them and paste them and save them for yourself for later, you can absolutely do that. Okay, so let's see. The next thing. Okay, so the next thing on our agenda then is we're going to go ahead and pop into the overhead view. Oh, Kelly says, I do enjoy starting this way. It gives me a chance to release the gunk so I can take everything in. And that's exactly what the intention is for those meditations. So glad to see that it's resonating. Okay, so I'm going to switch to this view. Okay, I am going to close the comments while I'm doing the active portion of my presentation for the planning, and then we'll get into an open Q&A at the end if you do not mind. Okay, I'm just going to rearrange some things on my desktop screen here. To go here. Nope. There we are. Okay, so we've got my planner sitting here. Are you guys ready? I hope you have your planners. I hope you have your drinks ready. I didn't show you, but I've got a water as per my usual, and I have the rest of my coffee from this morning. Okay, so welcome to my CEO Strategy Quarterly Business Planning Workshop. Before we really get in, the things that I want you to know about this. So as we're recording this live, it's the end of March, and we're stepping into Q2. But this is absolutely a process that you can be following every quarter. So it's not just specifically for Q2, which is why I didn't want to call the whole workshop like Q2 business planning. There's nothing inherently different about Q2 than any other quarter necessarily for the way that you're going to be approaching your planning, unless that's something like you have your own sorts of conventions because of the type of business that you're in. There's things that I always say about different businesses, which is, Q4, for example, is always a very it's always a very marketing heavy quarter because a lot of people are selling a lot of products for presents and things like that. Customers are buying for presents for the holidays. And so there's a lot of promotions going on around the holiday time. But really, you can take whatever you need from this process and integrate your other styles of planning as well. And I'll kind of get into that too, how you can take what you're going to learn today and actually integrate it into any other planning system and any other process that you do on like a regular basis. Okay, so to start off, today's class, you're in the right place if you have an idea for a business, but no clue what to work on first, second, third. I've totally been there before, right? When I first started my business, there was a big question mark in my head of like, okay, so I know I want to start this business and I know a few things that I'm obviously going to need to do, but what do I work on, right? Like, what's the most important thing for me to focus on? Like, what areas of my business do I need to be focused on building first, right? So we're going to talk about that today. If you've started taking action to build your business, but you are overwhelmed and need a business plan to keep you organized and focused, this is also a wonderful workshop for you. Because I do think that if you're someone who has started already, right, you kind of have an idea to some extent of the things that you have to do, right? But it becomes very overwhelming as a business owner, right, as a CEO, to have to manage all of that, especially having to manage everything you're doing for your business with your work. So having a business plan can really be a guide for the simple actions you need to be taking every day so you don't have to keep choosing. One of the things that really burnt me out when I was, beginning to start my business was when I didn't have like a cohesive plan and I kind of felt a little bit like, one of those swivel sticks where my attention kept switching from place to place to place to place. Let me know in the comments if that's a feeling that resonates with you, or which of these three situations as well pertains to you, so I can, zero in on some specific content that works for each of you. But for me, it was like when I didn't have a plan, I really felt like a leaf in the wind sometimes, right? I knew that there were things that I could do. I knew what all my options were, but I very often was carried to different places, and on a whim, I might change ideas, which really, when you're being pulled in multiple directions and you're not sticking to a plan, that's the quickest way to burn out, and it's the quickest way to not achieve anything because you're being pulled in too many directions. So this also is the right place for you. If you have a business and you keep setting business goals that you don't hit, and it's killing your confidence and momentum, right? So I totally understand that situation as well, where you're setting these goals and you're thinking the goals are reasonable, you're not hitting them, and you're like, why am I not hitting them? Right? And maybe one of the reasons you're not hitting them is that you're focused in too many areas. That's why I'm going to show you the process for how I get focused in and zeroed in so that I am able to actually achieve goals. But that's another situation, right? Where you're doing your business, but you're not hitting the goals. You're not seeing the progress that you want to see. And that's always the killer of confidence and momentum. And of course, if you are just someone who loves planning, you're just a member of my community, you're absolutely welcome here as well. A lot of people who don't run businesses join me for these sorts of classes and say that they actually pick up tips and tricks that they can apply to their own life, right? We never know where we're going to dig up gold, right? But you pick it up when you find it, and this class might have some gold for you. Okay, so what we're going to be covering today in today's class: number one, we're going to talk about my CEO Strategy quarterly business planning process. And like I already mentioned, this process is the same process that I would take any quarter of the year. Within this video, this class, we're going to talk about how I use the CEO Strategy Planner. And we're going to talk about how I keep focused and accountable to my goals on a quarterly basis. At the end, we're also going to be talking about how you can work with me to start or revive your business if that's something you'd be interested in. Enrollment is now open for the Empire Building Business Accelerator 6-week group coaching package. The link is in the description to join for our April 1st start. Okay, so we're going to start this class on April 1st. It's really going to be 6.5 weeks of group coaching. And this would be the perfect opportunity for someone who's getting started with their business and really does not really understand what they need to be working on. This is a great opportunity for you, this Empire Building Business Accelerator, and anyone who has already started a business, but you're just really feeling burnt out. You feel like you have no focus. You need to revive what you're doing and create that clear plan of action. The Business Accelerator is also for you. Okay, so getting started, the tools I use to business plan. So obviously I use my CEO Strategy Planner. Let me go ahead and open up to that area of my planner right here. Okay, this is my CEO Strategy Planner. This is a dedicated set of business planning inserts to help you clearly map out and organize each aspect of your business. I do the actual work of creating and breaking down plans with the CEO Strategy Planner, and then I do the scheduling of the tasks managed with my master planner, okay? So the CEO Strategy Planner is really that, I don't like to say pre-planning tool, right? A lot of times though, when people say planning, they really mean scheduling, right? But what I'm talking about when I say planning, right, is what I'm talking about is actually getting the ideas that you want to put to fruition for your business out of your head and onto paper on these inserts. These inserts will help guide you so that you're actually creating plans and staying organized. And I should say that the CEO Strategy Planner is a bonus this round of Empire Building. It's a $75 value, and when you join Empire Building this round, you're going to get it for free. I've also left the link in the description box for anyone who might just be interested in picking up the CEO Strategy Planner apart from Empire Building, but just something to think about. You could get this for free. So step one of this entire process is to review your goals and Q1 objectives, okay? So business goals are generally set at the new year, the start of the new year. But if you don't have your goals set, you're going to need to do that first in order to go through this process. So this process is the supplemental, how I keep myself in line with what my goals are. I don't set new goals every quarter. What I do is I set my goals at the beginning of the year, and then I get realigned with them through the quarters. So Empire Building actually includes the New Year Goal Setting Masterclass for your reference. So again, if you're someone who's already in Empire Building and you're like, oh, I need to set my goals, get in there. You've got the masterclass. And if you're someone who is thinking about Empire Building, you will have the opportunity. I have created an entire class resource for how you actually set your business goals for the year. So some things I want to mention about business goals is that your business goals really shouldn't change from quarter to quarter the way that you may change your personal goals. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of changing personal goals on a quarterly basis either, but I do think that when it comes to business goals, these sorts of goals, you're not going to be able to see, you'll be able to see to some extent immediate action, but a lot of times they require a lot of long-term effort in order to hit. So just to clarify, because I'm saying here, review your goals and Q1 objectives. Your goals, what I consider goals, are what you want for your business, okay? And then your objectives are the how for how you're going to achieve it, right? So in this method, goals do not change, but objectives can actually change. So if anything is changing in my business plan right now in this quarter when I'm doing my realignment, it's going to be my objectives, unless I've just really decided to completely change a goal, okay? So goals stay the same. You set them at the beginning of the year or whenever you're starting the business planning process. There's nothing wrong with starting them right now and setting your goals now. If you're watching this video later in the year, down the line, whenever you are watching this, if you don't have your goals, set those first. But when it comes to doing this process, staying focused and staying aligned with my goals, the things that I consider changing are usually just my objectives. So here's a few examples of the types of goals that I set. And I only set, this is very important, 3 goals per year for my business, okay? Because one of those situations where, again, if you're going for all the goals, you're never going to make enough progress to really see it on a regular basis, right? So we don't want to be a chicken with our heads cut off. We don't want to have our head on the swivel. We don't want to set too many goals. So I only set 3 per year. And the types of goals that I set will be things like a total income goal that I want for the year. It'll be something like a list size that I'm looking for, a follower count on a platform or overall, engagement that I would like to see from my community or my customers, key business accomplishments, and what I want my business to look and feel like. So going forward right now, I'm going to go ahead. I know I have it. Here we go. So I have my business goals here. So I have, like I said, 3 business goals. 1 is for income. 1 is for a follower size that I want, like how many members I want to see in my mastermind. And the 3rd is what I consider a key business accomplishment, publishing a book, right? So those are my 3 goals. And I do actually have them with my total goals for the year on a separate insert, but I also have them here broken out on just like a little sticky note. So I've got those here for quick reference. So those are my goals, okay? So once I have my 3 goals set for the year, I can choose any number of objectives to help me reach this goal. For example, the goal for my income revenue, right? That's a goal where every single month, all of the activities that I do to launch, to sell products, anything I'm doing with funnels, any content that I'm making that's content marketing, all of that is literally helping me to build that revenue goal, right? So it's not something I'm ever going to hit. Oh, I mean, it would be wonderful, if you could hit it in like a day, a week, a month, right? But realistically speaking, the way that at least I've set my goal, my income revenue, it's something that's a stretch for me. It's something that I'm reaching for, right? So that's, an example of one of my goals that'll have many different ways for me to reach it, right? Even the idea here of, a certain number of mastermind members that I want in my mastermind. There are so many different ways I can go about getting people to join that, right? Different offers I can make, different pieces of content that might help speak to different people's pain points, right? The individual objectives that I will actually use to reach that goal are endless, really. So I have the power to choose what it is that I actually want to work on. So this is actually very helpful for my mindset, right? The idea that I set 3 goals, but then I can choose my objectives as I please. Because if I don't like an objective, or it doesn't work out the way that I expected that it would once I've gone through and finished it, I don't have to feel bad, right? Like I don't have to feel like I'm a failure or that I'm not going to achieve my goal ever, because I know I can choose another objective and still reach the goal, right? So for me, that's always been very helpful at keeping me motivated and inspired, just knowing that if I really don't like the way an objective is working out, like a project that I'm doing for my business is working out, I can change it, right? I can cancel it and try something else if I want to. Now, I wouldn't just go ahead and cancel things willy-nilly all the time, but if you're not feeling in alignment with something, you absolutely have the ability to change. And if the thing doesn't work out the way that you wanted it to, guess what? You could choose another one because you haven't failed at your goal until you stop going for the goal. I'm sure people have heard things like that before. So the other thing you should know about the idea of goals versus objectives is, usually it will take several different objectives to reach a specific goal, right? If you could just do one objective and you hit a goal, that goal is not big enough, right? Like if I set my revenue goal for the year super low and it's something that I could hit in a month, that's clearly not a good enough goal, right? The intention behind goals is that it's something that you are working towards progressively. So, and the way we work towards it progressively is by choosing the objectives that we want to execute on. Does that make sense? Okay, so step 1, we're going to review our goals and our Q1 objectives. We're still doing this. Okay, so review the objectives that you set for Q1. Did you complete them? And if not, do you need to reschedule incomplete objectives for another quarter, or do you need to skip them entirely? So now we're actually going to go ahead and look at my objectives. So in the CEO Strategy Planner, there are 2 pages where I break out objectives. This is my yearly overview. So this gives me the big picture view of what my big objectives are for each quarter. I have a whole thing, we'll talk about this in a minute, for the potential objectives that I'm looking to reach. And then I have the objectives overview month by month on this insert, where I will list out no more than 3 objectives for every month. So let's go ahead and review Q1 here. So let's start let's start with this one. Okay, I'm going to start with this one. It's probably it's probably easier for me to explain monthly and then move into how I do my quarterly. Okay, so for January, my objectives, were to update my welcome sequence. Here, let me not point with my finger and point with a pen. It looks nicer. My objectives were to update my welcome sequence, to do a bundle promotion on You Got This and the Master Planner, and to host my vision board party class in my mastermind. I did all 3 of those things. Perfect. February, there is a content marketing workshop that I wanted to do. Didn't do it. My new business lead magnet, didn't do it. Functional planning class for my mastermind, I did do that. So 2 of the 3 I didn't actually do in February. March, we're going to get to this in a second, but March, my empire building promotion, I'm doing it now, so check. Manifest Destiny was the name of the workshop we did in the class, check. And my empire building sales page, I need to update the sales page, check. Okay, so it says that I did everything for March. It says that, okay? So we're actually gonna revive that in a second. Now, going to my Q1 objectives over here. This is my practice. In order to really make sure that I really am getting good at prioritizing, right? Even though I've already prioritized 3 things for every month, what I like to do for my quarterly objectives is choose the most important from every month and pop it into 1, 2, and 3 for quarterly, okay? So for January, the most important thing I needed to work on was to update my welcome sequence, right? In my email list. That was very important. I really needed to get that fixed. For February, it was the content marketing class, the editorial calendar. I know I call it like this 2 different things. I know what it means. So that class that I did not do for a reason. We can talk about the reason in a little bit. And the third objective was the new business lead magnet, which I had in February, but actually really should have belonged to March, right? So this is I know that this is like a little bit like where I'm getting really nitpicky with myself, but essentially I did create a new business lead magnet. I just didn't do it in February. I did it in March. And the content marketing class what ended up happening was I decided, let's back up a little bit. This promotion for Empire Building that I'm doing this month was not supposed to be alive for the business accelerators. In February, though, I had a genius idea that I could actually simplify my work by doing the content marketing workbook, the class, and another class that is, where was it listed out? Oh, it was from August, a mindset mastery class. I could do them, or I could bulk them together and put them together for the Empire Building Business Accelerator. If instead of making it a passive like class that I was selling, if I made it a live round and I was doing live classes, I would be able to simplify the process. So I intentionally changed this stuff around, okay? So out of my Q1 objectives, I did update the welcome sequence. I did do the new business lead magnet. The editorial calendar thing will be getting done next quarter, okay? So this is one of those examples, something I need to reschedule. I already knew it walking in, okay? So that is, how I break these things down. So you want to see what you were actually able to accomplish from Q1. Now, of course, if you don't have Q1 objectives because you're starting with your goals right now, no big deal. This is just an example of how I would be managing those sorts of things in my head, okay? Okay, so step 2 of this process, now that you've kind of checked on your Q1 objectives or your previous quarter objectives, if you're doing this in another quarter, it's just what the previous quarter was. You want to check on those objectives, see what you did, what you didn't do. The next step for this whole process is to perform a CEO brain dump, okay? So in order to help you get clear on the objectives that you need to set for the upcoming quarter, you can use the CEO Business Brain Dump Triggers list, which is a free download in the description. If you got an email this morning from me, you got the link in the email. This will help you identify the areas of your business that you need to work on. And remember, you won't be able to do everything at once. You're going to have to pick just 3 objectives to focus on per month and the overall 3 objectives that are the priority for the quarter, right? So when I choose these objectives for the quarter, it's the things from each month that are really the most important. Now, there are other ways you could use this, right? Like this is just the way that I choose to break them down. I love prioritizing, right? I like to know what the number one thing for me to work on is, and that always keeps me very motivated and moving forward, right? Even if I put something on that ends up not being one of the things I work on, no big deal. But it really does help to have levels of prioritization going on. Like me saying, I already know the 3 things each month. I know what the 3 things for the quarter are that are most important, but you could use the quarterly objectives differently. Like you could do things like break down your income targets, and you could say like you need to sell how many of which product in order to hit your income goal. And then in your objectives, you could talk about what the projects are actually going to be that you're going to work on to do that. So let's go back to the brain dump, okay? Brain dump, where did I put it? Here we go. Okay, so here is this new updated business brain dump triggers list, okay? So if you have this in front of you, no, it's there, okay. If you have this in front of you, you can see that it's 2 pages, front and back. And there are a couple of different categories of things, essentially triggers for you to think about for your business. So the main 4 categories are products, list building, marketing, and development. And then on the back, I have content, admin, financial, and other. So essentially what you want to do with this is I've already populated a lot of categories. So for under products, it says like new offers, existing offers, collaborative projects, future projects, edits, updates, upgrades. But then you have a bunch of open bullet points. If there are other things that you want to remember when you do a brain dump that are specifically related to your business, then you can fill those in on the appropriate bullet lists. And then if you just need to add a whole list of other things, right, for your business that I haven't even touched on that might just be unique to your business, or the way that you plan or the way that you think, then you have the opportunity to do that here. So before we actually go ahead and work on what our new objectives are going to be, we're going to be doing a brain dump. Now, spoiler alert, I didn't want this video to be hours long, so I've already done my brain dump, and you guys have the ability to, obviously do yours whenever you would like here. So brain dump, next part of the process to get your thoughts, plans, dreams, and ideas out of your head onto paper so you can see everything you've been thinking about, right? So when people come to me and are like, well, what should I work on for my business? I'm like, well, what do you think you should work on for your business? Do a brain dump. This will help you to think about the different areas of your business that are important so that you can then start choosing what objectives you're going to work on from there. Now, because I, I guess seasoned at this, and obviously I've made full year business plans already in my planner. I already have, right, my Q2 objectives set. But what I'm going to say is, so sorry, I just reading something and I got distracted. Okay, so I've already done my brain dump, and yes, I already made a full year of plans, but actually, right, so these were my plans. Actually, when I did my brain dump the other day, I ended up reworking my plans, which is something that often happens, right? So actually, instead of doing all this live again, I just didn't want to take up too much time. These were the original inserts that I had made at the beginning of the year and filled out with my plans. But I've actually done a new set. So I'm going to take these ones out and I'm going to put the new ones in. And this is actually one of my favorite things about the CEO Strategy Planner is if things change, you can just print out a new insert and you've got new fresh inserts with your new fresh plans. Okay. And I'm going to walk you through a little bit of what these changes were that I actually made, okay? Just so you guys can understand, because I think it does help to some extent to be able to see that stuff. We'll save this guy. We'll do this guy first. So my Q1 objectives, update welcome sequence, editorial, calendar, class. Now, new business lead magnet. That really wasn't the most important thing that I was doing in Q1. And that's why I was getting a little confused because I knew I had rewritten this. Really, what I should have written the first time was the Empire Building launch, but I didn't. For some reason, I chose to focus in on the business lead magnet, which fine, no big deal. But that's just an example of how even when I do my planning, sometimes I even pick the wrong thing to write down. So in this case, it was a live launch that I actually ended up doing. So I wrote live launch, but it wasn't intended to be a launch of a live round, is what I mean. Okay, so Q2 objectives, what has changed? I actually have to do the live round now, right? So I have 6 weeks of things starting in April that I need to work on. That's a major time commitment for me. So that's number one priority. There's also a funnel for the mastermind that I'm working on in Q2 and my insert design class. So before the insert design class was on there, the Empire Building marketing stuff was on there because I thought that I would just continue to do some marketing after the launch that I did. But obviously now I'm just doing a live round. So things have changed a little bit. What's changed over here? 2021 inserts. The Mindset Mastery class obviously now belongs to, like I said before, it now belongs to Q2 because it's part of Empire Building. And I am doing another Empire Building live launch. And then there's a funnel I want to do for CEO Strategy and my planner. So that's Q3 has changed. Q4 objectives. And really what I did here, a lot of this is I reordered this to be the right months. There's going to be a promotion for the mastermind in Q4, a holiday sale, and a book launch. So it's the same things that were here before. Now, looking at the back of this, we will talk about this actually right now, I think. Okay, so I'm going to continue on the screen here so to review your Q2 objectives, you're going to choose from your brain dump what your objectives should be or review whatever objectives you had already set. Are these objectives still the priority? And as you can tell from what I'm talking about right now, my priorities changed slightly. So you're going to want to make adjustments necessary based on your brain dump results and consider your objectives under these categories, okay? So the categories that you really want to think about and focus on for objectives are products, list building, marketing, and development. And so products are your offers, what you sell or promote to earn money. List building is the strategy or strategies that you use to gain followers. Marketing is how you tell your followers about your offers to make sales. And development is the future vision for where your business is going and what you will need to do to make that happen. So I'm telling you guys that first because on the back of this is where I list out the objectives that I have from my brain dump that came from that are falling into different categories. And it's the main 4 categories on the brain dump, the first page. this is all about, right? So this is my annual overview of the things that I want to accomplish in the year for my business. So as you can see, this is the original one. I just kind of rewrote it here. It's like I did change a few things, but nothing much. It's mostly the same, and I just, rewrote it out. But essentially, and this is the original, this is the new one. So this is really just when I sit down at the beginning of the year and did the brain dump, what do I want to have done in my business this year? These were all the things that came out. Something you're going to notice is if you were to count out each individual thing, there's 36 items. Because if we're talking about only being able to do 3 objectives a month, 3 times 12 is 36. And that's actually exactly how many items I have here on these objectives, right? So I've gotten them all listed out into what products I want, what list building activities I need to do, what marketing activities I need to do, and what sort of development I want to do this year. And then they are spread out across the 12 months of the year. So I'm going to put upside this old one of this, and I'll show you as well the update for this one. So pretty much this is the same. And of course, I just reformatted the order that I wrote things in. The first thing on every month is actually the masterclass for the mastermind, because that's something that always has to happen earlier in the month. So I wanted to make sure that that is always the first thing on the list. So when we look back at here, you can see vision party I did, updated welcome sequence I did, the bundle I did, functional planning class I did, editorial calendar class deferred, new business lead magnet was also deferred, but at this point it's done. Manifest Your Destiny, that was the class. I did that. Empire Building Business Accelerator launch campaign, did that, doing that. It's in progress. It's happening. And the thing that I changed here was the evergreen sequence. That was originally what I was supposed to be doing with a non-live launch of Empire Building, was an evergreen sequence. But, you change things, right? So now we're doing a live session of Empire Building. No big deal. Okay, then April, Energy Management class, CEO Strategy Masterclass, and the CEO Mindset Masterclass. This first one is my mastermind membership, and then these 2 are the classes that are happening in April in the live launch, the live session of Empire Building. May, Know Thyself is the name of our May Masterclass. Editorial Calendar Masterclass is what we're doing in May. It's the last of our classes for the Empire Building launch, and then I also am going to put together for May a mastermind funnel launch campaign. So there's going to be like a special campaign we're going to do in May around the mastermind. June, my Astro Insights class, insert design class, which I know many of you guys have been waiting for. And June, I'm also going to need to not just create this class because it's not been made yet. I have to also put together the launch campaign. So 2 things that I have to do there. And then on the back, July's class for the mastermind is a mid-year refresh. I have to do my 2022 inserts. I have to do an insert promotion campaign in July for the new inserts. August, Breaking Through Limiting Beliefs is the name of our class. I'm also going to be doing a CEO funnel with launch. And you can see here, the back end of my year, you'll see that I haven't filled up 3 things. Okay, and I'll talk about that in a second. September, Strategic Planning Systems is the class we're doing in the mastermind. And then I'm also going to do another live launch of the Empire Building. I'm not going to say but now. Because I'm doing the live launch this time, I might change this. This might change. October is Money Magic for the mastermind. And I'm also going to do another campaign for the mastermind. November, Attitude of Gratitude is our mastermind class. And I always host my holiday sale in November. And then December, I would like to do a book launch on the book that I'm theoretically working on for launch in December. And the New Year goal setting workshop. I messed this up. I should have put the workshop first because it was the class, but it's okay. It's no big deal. Now, why have I not filled in all of these areas? Number 1, just because you can have 36 objectives does not mean you should. Okay, so it doesn't mean that you should be doing those things. And you're going to be like, well, Alexis, I thought you said you had 36 things written down. I do. But actually what ends up happening is some of these things that I have written down are actually like pretty easy. Like automate customer testimonials. That's going to be like an email an automatic email that I set up. So that's not really a project that needs to be like dedicated as one of my objectives for the month, right? This is something that will take me like not very long to do. I just need to decide when I'm going to do it, right? So there's plenty of examples of this. There's plenty of actual things that are going on actually in here that actually interconnect. And actually here, create new organization system on the computer. I did that. Let's check it off. I did that. Okay, so yeah, so some of these things actually meld into each other. So even though I have 36 items on here, which is like the max of what I would recommend, not all of them are being assigned to a specific month. And that's because for me, because I have this potential book launch, I actually have to write said book, right? So I really want to leave myself a little bit of space the back end of the year. Like I would really like in August to just really be focused on this book. Right? That would be really great, right? Because if I could write it in a couple of months and get it edited and I can get it formatted and then it's ready to go, right? Like that's how I see this. And I have not yet gotten to the point where I've actually broken down this book launch in any meaningful way for the campaign. I know that like theoretically I could, and maybe I'm not going to say that I should. I know that I could do that, but it's not something that right now is a priority. There's so many other things on my plate that I don't even want to think about this until we get to the back half of the year. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. And I recommend to you that if you're someone who's found that when you set objectives or set goals, etc., you plan your business plans, you don't get a lot of things done, put less things on your to-do list. Like don't fill up every space. Just because I could fill up all of these spaces doesn't mean that I should. I have something that I know in this period of time is really going to be like a floating third project. So I'm just going to leave it be. You know what I mean? So that's a tip that I have for you. Do not intentionally overload your schedule. Okay. So now we have my Q2 objectives. I mean, technically I just showed you my rest of the year objectives. Awesome. But my Q2 is done. Okay. Step 4 is to populate your quarterly overview. Okay, where's that? Over here. Okay, so this insert here is the quarterly overview. Okay, so to give myself clear visibility to everything that I have going on in a quarter, I populate the quarterly overview sheet. I list, and I'm going to switch it here. The front of the sheet is mostly income related. So it's where I put my target income, and then I will break down how much money I've made selling certain products in the year. This isn't something I do. This is something I would do at the end of a year, of a quarter. And I really don't do a lot of my financial stuff on my inserts. I prefer to do them on the computer. So here, you can see this is my quarterly actual overview. There's an area to list a focus activity for each month, April, May, June. That's our next quarter. Usually this is something that I'm focused on selling, but it doesn't have to be. It's the thing that's like the most important thing for me to keep in mind. It's like my theme for the month in a way. Then I can identify the active marketing campaigns that are going on. So if I have a marketing campaign for something, for example, right now in March, my marketing campaign is Empire Building Business Accelerator Live Launch. That's an active marketing campaign that's going on. Then I can ID the key list building activities or like the assets that I have, like a lead magnet, like a freebie or something to promote each month. And this overview often helps me the most with my content creation because on one page, I can see what I have going on for the quarter that I could be creating content around to support. Now, what have I done here? I didn't want to waste too much time filling things in. I've actually already filled it in. And I'm just going to replace it. And we'll just go ahead and see that this is my quarterly overview for Q2. So my focus for April is that Empire Building Business Accelerator. It's the most important thing I've got going on. My marketing, I'm going to do a brain dump video. I don't think it's going to be a CEO brain dump video. I think it's just a regular brain dump video. So it's not really a marketing. I don't really have a marketing campaign going on, but I did want to list out something that was really important that I wanted to create for like ongoing content marketing. List building, I have this new CEO business brain dump insert that I shared with you guys is something that I'm likely going to share in other content for April, right? So this helps me when I'm creating my content plan, and doing my editorial calendar to know the most important things that I'm focused on. May, the focus is to wrap up the Business Accelerator. June is the Insert Design class. Marketing for May is the Mastermind campaign I already talked about. And the list building is the Productivity Assessment. June, Marketing Insert Design campaign, right? That goes with the Insert Design class. And my Productivity Assessment, again, I'm going to probably be focused on those things as the list building activity. So this will help me as a cheat sheet for when I'm creating content. Next, step 5 is to plan your objectives. Okay, so for the next quarter, you will have a maximum of 9 objectives, right? Because 3, 6, 9, maximum. You're going to create a strategic project plan for each of them or write out the known tasks. Not every objective requires a complete project plan. So if you don't really need a project plan, you don't have to use a project plan, you can just write out the tasks. And some objectives may actually require a marketing campaign if it's actually like a marketing campaign. And I'm going to show you a few examples. So I actually did this with you guys, not live on YouTube, but I posted this on YouTube. My insert design class, I did a whole brainstorm and strategic project plan for this. So I have the project plan for that done. The productivity assessment that I'm doing. This is something that we're doing in May, right? I have not actually built the campaign yet because I normally do that at the start of the new month. But this is an example of the campaign builder that I would use to map out a campaign like that, a marketing campaign. Okay. So going back to my list, energy management class, I don't need to make a project plan for that because it's literally just slides and a worksheet. CEO Strategy Masterclass, same thing. It's another class. And I've actually already have part of like the handouts done. CEO Mindset Masterclass, again, that's a class that I just have to build, right? It's like if I made a project plan, it would be create slides, create handout. Like that's all it would be really. May, this is another class. So that's like 2 things that I do. Editorial calendar, masterclass, another class. And then this funnel launch campaign, I showed you the page that I will fill out for that. Another class, the insert design class, which we already did. I did show you the project plan for that because that's something that has a lot of moving parts. And then the launch campaign, I haven't even done that yet, but it's one of the items on here to build. Where did I write it? Sales and marketing campaign. So it's one of my tasks on this to create the marketing campaign. So right now, obviously, I'm not going to be filling anything out of those. Most of these things are things that are pretty easy for me. I do them all the time. So I can just list out the tasks to keep organized. So what you're going to do is once you know and you've identified all of the tasks that you need to do, right, for a given month, right? So all the tasks for April, for example, to keep track of the objective related tasks that you need to complete, you're going to list all the tasks onto your monthly business plan that it belongs to. And I usually populate 1 month at a time, just in case things change. I don't like to go too much into the future. And on the task list, I can check off which type of activity the task relates to. And this helps me see how much time and effort I'm putting into specific areas of my business. So let me go ahead and move to this actual page that I'm talking about. This is the monthly business plan, okay? So on the front here, this one's for April. They're undated, so you can fill it in. There's a place for my focus, the campaigns that are going on. I can make my own calendar and talk about important dates down at the bottom. And then on the back here, this is what I'm talking about, the task list. I will list out all of the tasks that are related to the objectives for April. And then here, I actually have 5 little checkboxes that say products, list building, marketing, development, and other. And what I do here is when I list each of these tasks, I check off what it relates to. So essentially, those 4 categories that I told you, the products, list building, marketing, development, those are the major 4 things that you need to be doing on your business. And you, if you're someone who has been working on different areas of your business and you're not seeing progress, right? It may be that you're working on too much of one type of product, not product, but area of your business. So when I do this, it just really helps me to see like, okay, in a month, what am I doing? Am I doing a lot of products development, or am I balanced? Like, am I doing some products? Am I doing some marketing? Am I doing some list building? Am I doing some development, etc.? Right? It just helps me to manage this out. Now, again, because I didn't want to waste too much time, I already have filled mine out. And we're just going to replace it. This also helps me, you guys. I'm sorry that I'm not like writing in things live if anyone's disappointed, but truthfully, when I plan live, I always mess up. Not just that like my handwriting will suck and sometimes I can't read what I've written, but I will literally write things down that are completely wrong because I'm just not fully thinking through because I'm also presenting at the same time. So it helps me to just be able to do it on my own and then and then go ahead and just show you. I think it's better for you guys to see like what's accurate than just an example of me writing. So for April, the focus we already know is the Business Accelerator campaigns, mostly just content marketing. Like I said, there's no active campaigns. I'm just doing content marketing. I've got some important dates for things going on in the month. And then on the back here, I've listed out all the tasks that are related to the projects that I have to work on. And I've checked them out, checked them off. So this month, these tasks are, half of them are product related, right? And then half of them are development related, right? So, I don't have, like we know already, I don't have very much list building going on, and I don't have anything marketing related that's going on. So nothing beyond my normal blog posts, YouTube video, email, Instagram, right? And I'm actually not going to write those things here because of the next step, or 2 steps from now. Hold on, let me see where we are. Step 7, populate your editorial calendar. Here we go. Okay, so I'll wrap this back up in a second. So step 7 is to populate your editorial calendar. So once I have the clear business plans laid out for like what I need to do, I can brainstorm and populate my monthly editorial calendar. So I use the content brainstorm and content planner to ensure that my content for the month supports my overall efforts in terms of focus, marketing, and list building. So you can see here, again, already started this content brainstorm. I did not start populating the content planner yet. So this is my content brainstorm sheet. I have a whole video about how I do this. This is how I think the video is called like how I create business marketing plans. This insert helps me to come up with content ideas for the month. And again, I will look at this while I am filling this out so that I understand, okay, so like this month, I know I'm going to be busy with the empire building. I know that there's that brain dump video that I wanted to create. I know that I have the CEO business brain dump actual download that I should be promoting, right? It's a download, it's an opt-in that people can use. I should be promoting it. So looking at that, it helps me to know what sort of content I'm going to be making in, for example, April. So there's a lot of here. I even used one of my categories as CEO. So I actually have a lot of content here that's CEO, about my CEO strategy. So there's a lot of opportunities for me in these posts to insert that free download. So here's the opt-in for the CEO brain dump. It's going to be attached to as a content upgrade to any of my marketing or videos, blog posts, etc. that are going out this month, right? So that is what I will do. And then once this is all filled out and I've mapped out like what I want for, the entire month for my content, this is like the skeleton of my editorial calendar. Then step 8 is to schedule your business plans into your actual calendar. So with all the business plans made for the month, you can proceed with performing your monthly review and taking your usual steps for scheduling and allocating tasks for the months, weeks, or days. So I have a few videos on my monthly review process that I follow if you need a reference, but you guys have seen me before populate my month, right? So you guys have saw me populate the month of March, I believe. You guys saw me do this. So I will take all of the information that is, and where can I go here? Yeah, will take all of the information that's in my business plans and I will populate them into my actual calendar so that I'm actually getting things done. So that is how I stay on top of all of my tasks, right? I have them, everything is planned out, and then I move them into my schedule. And the good thing is that it doesn't matter which planner you're using, right? So as an overview here, starting from your goals and turning them into actual scheduled plans in your planner. You're going to start by setting your annual business goals and identifying the objectives that you want to execute on to make them happen. Then you're going to use like the CEO Strategy Planner inserts to break down and organize your plans appropriately so that you're breaking it into bite-sized pieces, that you're managing your expectations, you're not overloading yourself, you know that you're always working towards your goals. And then you're going to take all of those little plans that you've made and schedule them into the calendar or agenda of your choice. So obviously, again, I use my master plan system, but whatever planner you actually use, you could take this, even if it's a digital planner, right? And you just put stuff in Google or Outlook or Apple Notes or whatever, Apple Calendar, whatever, you could take all of these plans and then schedule them to be done, right? And that's how we fulfill this process. So, hold on for 1 second. So, what do you think? Are you ready to craft your own business plans using my digital marketing strategy? Actually, I've got one more thing. Some things in my way right now. Okay, so going back to this. So what do you think? Are you ready to craft your own business plans using my digital marketing strategies? If you feel aligned with me and my teachings, if you like what I do and how I do it, I would love to work with you to take your business to the next level. Your passion turned into an easy, profitable online business. You're just weeks away from getting your brand online, your content planned, community growing, and income flowing. Does any of this sound familiar? You've been thinking about and planning out your dream business for a while now, but you've not taken any significant action to make it a reality. You see and follow lots of other online businesses and often think to yourself, I could do that and I'll start a business someday, but the days pass with little to show for your daydreaming. I know some of you have even tried to take action in the past and become overwhelmed with all the pieces that go into starting and running a business, giving up before you truly got your idea off the ground. And there are even a few of you who have started, who have been trying for several years, and several iterations of your dream business have come and gone, and you just can't get anything moving in the right direction. I get it. There's a lot of information out there on how to start a business, what tools to use, what type of content you need to create, exactly how you should sell, and it's completely overwhelming. So let me help simplify it all for you so you can create an intentional and sustainable online business. If you struggle to answer any of these common online business conundrums, Empire Building is the right program for you. What the heck is a brand? How do I know what to name my business? How do I decide on my brand elements? And does what I choose really matter? Does my business need to be my name or something else? What should my online platforms be? Do I need a blog? Should I have a YouTube channel? How the heck do I even use Instagram? Do I have to use everything all at once? And how often do I need to post? How do I start growing a community online when I'm starting from zero? What content do I need to post to attract my ideal customer? What is the secret to growing and building an awesome, engaged fan base online? I have no clue how to sell and I'm afraid of coming off too salesy. How do I promote my products or services online the right way so that people see it and want to buy? How do I know if my audience even wants what I'm selling? What is market research and how is it done? How do I even start making money online? What does it mean to have multiple streams of income? What is the whole passive income thing Alexis always talks about? How do I make money if all I have is a blog and I don't sell my own products or services? How do I properly form a business? How do I set business goals when I'm just starting out and have no clue what to expect? Am I supposed to do everything myself or hire a VA or a team? What are all the little systems I need to be aware of to ensure my business is running properly? What if you could design the business that worked for you, played to your strengths, skills, and interest, and most of all, just felt easy, fun, and fulfilling? My philosophy is this: business does not need to be hard, but by all means, we humans can make it hard if we want to. Since going full-time for my business in 2014, I have chosen to let it be easy, let it be fun, and not to overcomplicate it. You can do it too. Let me show you how to create an easy, streamlined business with an ever-growing community of awesome fans ready and willing to purchase your products and services. I would like to introduce you to and invite you into Empire Building 6-Week Business Accelerator. I've been running and selling Empire Building since 2015, helping hundreds of awesome female entrepreneurs figure out their passion and develop an easy business plan online. Now I'm hosting this course as a live 6-week training and group coaching experience that you do not want to miss. Here's what you'll get. You'll get access to the complete Empire Building online business program. That is 6 video modules covering branding, communication, community building, advertising, income streams, and business administration. You'll get 3 live classes during our 6-week session. So you'll get the CEO Strategy Masterclass, that's on April 14th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You'll get the CEO Mindset Mastery class on the 28th of April at 7, and the Killer Content Masterclass on May 12th. FYI, if you've been getting my emails, you know I don't love that name, the Killer Content Masterclass. It came to me. It was okay. I really want to change the name. If you have any ideas, let me know. Workbooks and transcripts for each of the 6 video modules will be included, plus homework, FAQs, resources. So you're going to get all of the, the paper, all the paper trail for what you need with the modules. And they come with workbooks, and the same thing with the master classes. You're going to get, all the content for that and handouts, etc. You also get, and this is really big, right? Because this is not just a business course, this is also business coaching. You're going to get 6 weeks of group coaching with me via a private Slack channel starting Thursday, April 1st. You're also going to get lifetime access to Empire Building, right? And a year of email support from me. So once we finish our 6 weeks together, if you still have questions in the course of a year, you can reach back out to me. Like I said before, it's amazing to be able to sit and watch a lecture or read, content and learn skills. But the best part about learning, or the most important part, is about actually taking action and actually asking questions, right? And that's what the group coaching container actually gives us the ability to do. It gives you the ability to, as you're learning, come to me and say, Alexis, I need to know more about this. Alexis, how does this apply to my business? Alexis, show me what this would look like for me, right? And having me there for the 6 weeks, more like 6.5, to literally hold your hand and guide you and give you additional resources is awesome, amazing, and incredibly valuable. So you're not just getting a coaching course, you're not just buying the on-demand version of Empire Building, you are actually getting 2 things in once. One, which really make for a very valuable and just really great experience, where if you're prepared to get some things done, we're going to get some work done on your business in 6 weeks. Now, these are the 6 modules of Empire Building. We've got branding, communication, community, marketing, income, and business administration. If you want to read about each one of these, what you're going to actually learn and the key results, you click any of the links to enroll and you can actually see my entire sales page. I don't need to go in and read these again and again. You guys, understand if you need branding help, communication, community, marketing, income, business administration. This is everything that we cover and the key results that you can expect from each of the modules if you're interested in that. Now, I'm in the wrong thing. Okay, hold on. You guys, what have I done here? Hold on, let me close this out. Messed up, delete, that's it. Okay, sorry about that. That was for the original class. Those fast action bonuses no longer exist. Do you guys remember last week when I did mine and there were like so many errors in my class? Okay, so what else you get? You're going to get over $1,500 worth of bonuses when you sign up for this round. So there are some bonus masterclasses that are in there. Blogging masterclass, planning for a successful holiday promotion, which is going to be killer for your planning in Q4, which is usually the most profitable quarter for any business. And I already mentioned before, the New Year business planning session, right? So you can actually set your goals. Even if it's not New Year's, you can go ahead and use that. Then you get the CEO Strategy Planner. We already talked about it. That's my best-selling business planning tool. The CEO Strategy Planner is designed to help you create your ideal creative business plan and break your annual business goals into manageable daily actions. And you got a nice little sneak peek on how to do that today. You also are going to get guided journaling workbooks. So for each of the 6 modules of the Empire Building course, I have developed a dedicated set of guided journaling prompts and affirmations intended to help you get in touch with your true desires and vision for your business. Again, so many people come to me and say, Alexis, I don't know what I want. I want to start a business. I don't know what I want to start. Well, I can't tell you the business to start, but I can tell you how to think about your future business and get in touch with what your desires are, what you're good at, what your skills are, who you want to serve, who you want to help, the products that you're drawn to creating, right? And I've actually designed a guided journaling workbook for every one of the 6 modules. So for branding, we've got a workbook that goes into exactly you figuring out your branding yourself, right? For the communication platforms, how to choose, right? It's going to be a guided journaling workbook, how to choose your own platforms that speak to you. Same thing with community building, right? Same thing with marketing, same thing with income streams, same thing with business administration. Every step of the way, I've created these very valuable journaling workbooks that help you get in touch with the information that's already inside of you, right? It really helps you, again, get those thoughts and plans and dreams and ideas out of your head and onto paper so that you're creating a more intentional business that works to your strengths and skills. So let's talk really quickly about who this opportunity is for and who it's not for. This is definitely for you if you feel a call to create a business online, but you have no idea how to get started. You would love all the options laid out in front of you with clear expectations of what goes along with each and what you need to do to make your business dream a reality. If that's you, this is the right opportunity for you. If you're willing to learn, show up and do the work that needs to be done so that you can live the life of time and location and financial freedom that running an online business can provide to you. This is not for people who are just hoping something can be handed to them. This is for people who are willing to show up. If you say, Alexis, give me all the information, help me along the way, hold my hand, I will do the work if you show me, this is for you. And if you're a problem solver, okay, so you're no quitter and you know that with the right information and strategy in your hands, you can make your business goals a reality, right? You really have to have a mindset of problem solving to be a business owner, right? Or your business really isn't going to go far. Something that always comes to mind, well, especially right now in the pandemic, so many businesses had to close down or pivot. And it was so surprising to me to see the types of businesses that ended up pivoting in such creative ways where their competitors may have shut down, but they decided that they were not going to quit. They decided that they were going to solve the problem the best they could, and they were going to continue running their dream business the best they could with the circumstances they were given. And so that's a beautiful example of, how people in, businesses that survived through the pandemic were people who were problem solvers, for sure. Now, this is not for you if you run a physical in-person business and you're not interested in marketing that business online. For sure, if you have a physical in-person business and you want to market online, this is for you. But if you have no interest in digital marketing, this is not the course for you, right? This is not for you. If you believe that you already know everything about digital marketing and how this all works, and you're hoping there's some secret to success that you've just missed, newsflash, there is no secret. You either know the information, have integrated it, right? Which is very important. Integrating information is very important. There's one thing to know, and there's one thing to understand how you actually apply it and use it to take aligned action for your business. You're either doing that or you're not. So there's so many people I know who are course eaters, right? Like they buy tons of courses and they're not getting what they want out of it. They buy a course and they haven't shown up and asked the questions. They haven't dug in. They haven't taken advantage of all the resources that are for them. And they haven't learned, they haven't integrated the information. I could tell you all day long, how important consistency is in your business. And if you are just kind of ignoring that and saying, oh, I am showing up consistently and not asking yourself, okay, look, Alexis is saying consistency is important. Where am I not being consistent? And how am I not being consistent, right? If you're not willing to challenge yourself, you think you know it all, right? This is not for you. And if you just want someone to wave a magic wand and give you a ready-made business, purchasing an online business course does not instantly make your business appear in your life. I wish it did, because I'd be charging a heck of a lot more. So this is not for you. If you just want this to be so easy that I just hand you a business, that's not for you, okay? Now, what is the investment? All in, the complete value of the course, plus the coaching and the bonuses, is really well into the $3,000 range, okay? But I truly feel called to make this an opportunity accessible to an amazing group of women who are willing to work on their dream if given the chance. So I'm offering this experience at an over 80% discount. So you can join now for one easy payment of $555. Do not miss out on this experience, okay? So if you've been in this world and you've seen the other courses that are out there, if you've seen business coaching prices, a 6-week group coaching cost could be $3,000 in itself, right? But again, that's not the experience I want. I want to be able to make this opportunity more accessible for the women in my community who aren't ready to drop that sort of money on their business. So one easy payment, $555, you're in for 6 weeks and you get the course for life. Don't miss the opportunity to build your business alongside me for this 6-week live class. 6 weeks of live business coaching, a lifetime access to empire building, and all those bonuses sound like a very wise business decision to me. Enroll now, link is in the description. Also, I always like to make sure you guys understand, this is a tax write-off for your business, right? When you buy a business course, when you invest in coaching, these are things that you are able to, at least in the US, write off, right? So it's not like you're wasting the money. Now, first, earlier when we started this launch, I had 2 fast action bonuses, but those are gone now, right? Those are gone now. We finished that. But I did want to extend one of the fast action bonus items. and that is the free photography course. Because I do understand that not everybody was able to join live, and if you catch the replay of these classes in a couple of days and you still want to join, you're still learning about the class. You're still taking fast action if when you learn about it, you want to sign up. So what I'm going to do is I'm extending the free photo course. If you sign up by Wednesday, March 31st at right there at that midnight mark, like 11:59 before it becomes April 1st, you will receive my styled stock photography course called the Digital Styling Lightroom for free. There's nothing you need to do for this. I will update your permissions when you register for the course automatically to include the DSLR. And just in case there's anyone watching who did purchase after the fast action bonuses expired last week, you are going to be given access to DSLR as well. I'm extending this to everyone who purchases this round, okay? Because I do understand that because I leave these classes up and you could be watching it at any time. If you're one of the people who just takes action when you see it, that's who I'm trying to reward, the people who take that fast action. So go ahead, you get this extra bonus is being added to this entire experience. Now, just really quickly, I like to just walk through the checkout process. The link in the description will take you to the sales page where you'll see all the information that I covered today, plus the FAQ and testimonials. So if you want to see some more frequently asked questions, they're on that page. If you want to read about the experiences of other people who've been in empire building and other people who've also been in my business accelerator, the business accelerator people last time have given me some testimonials, they're on that page. You can hit any enroll now button and you'll view the listing for the course in my shop. You're going to add that to cart and you're going to head to your checkout. You can check out on my shop via PayPal or via credit card through Stripe. After the payment is processed, you'll be redirected back to the shop where you should see on the page a link for downloading your welcome letter. If you miss the redirect back to the shop, don't worry. You will also be emailed a receipt or invoice of your purchase, and inside the body of that email is going to be a link to download the welcome letter. The welcome letter PDF includes a link to register for the course website and a link to access the private Slack channel where we'll be holding the group coaching element of the program. And if you have any questions or issues, email me. There's my email address for you guys to reach out to me. Also, I will say that because this is starting April 1st, I'm going to be sending you guys, people who purchase, email. So you are going to get an email from me when we get started, and I'll send you some emails to make sure that you guys get, set up properly. So even if you didn't check your email, you'll be getting notifications from me, right? Even if you missed the welcome letter, I'll be sending you some notifications. So don't worry. Okay, now open Q&A. Ask me anything CEO strategy, business, and empire building related. And let me go ahead and put myself back on the screen. There I am. Hello. Oh, what have I just done? Okay, move that. Move that. And comments. Awesome. Okay. So there are many of you here live still. Welcome. Thank you for being here still. Thank you for not getting bored and leaving. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you learned anything. So who has questions about this process? Does anyone want, take advantage of this time with me? You can ask me anything you need about this process. And I'm going to, in the meantime, really quickly go back and see if I missed anything. Here we go. Oh, Ms. Mindful said, I feel empowered and I am enough. Yes, I like the affirmations. Good. So you guys like the meditations. I'm so glad. Yes, you really enjoyed it. Feels good. Awesome. Excellent. Melanie from Louisiana, welcome. Brandy likes them too, right? It's a moment of feeling complete. Excellent. Okay. Okay, I'm just looking to see if there's any... Brandy says, I admit I sometimes fall into information overload and I need to take a break to regroup, which I will say quarterly business planning, even let's be honest, when we get overwhelmed, right? I don't just wait for a quarter, right? to regroup with my business planning if I'm feeling overwhelmed. I won't just wait for the new month, right? I will take steps immediately to get myself out of the feeling of overwhelm. That's very important. I think every single day when you come to your planner and make your plans, you have that choice to do that. And anytime I'm feeling overwhelmed, it's become my practice that I do something. I use one of the tools in my metaphysical tool belt to help me to shift out of that, like my mindset tool belt, right? So if that means I do a quick meditation, if that means I read some affirmations, if that means that I look at my planner and I scratch things off and say, doing this tomorrow, doing this another day, et cetera, that is what I do. If it means that maybe I have a lot of work and it means that I'm not going to be able to show up at home as a good partner, it means having a conversation with my partner and saying, hey, can you please pick up the slack with this? Can you take care of this, take care of this, take care of this? So there's lots of different ways that we can kind of, when we have overwhelm, I know you said information overload, but overwhelm as well. I just want to make sure that we're, in both situations, regrouping is good. Jane Bailey says, I have an idea or 2 or 10 for your business. Awesome. So you're perfect. See, what I would say here too, Jane Bailey, let me just go into this while I'm waiting for more questions to come in. This course was designed for women who are like me. Okay. Now you are like me if you want to do all the things, right? Like you want to, you're multifaceted, right? As a person, and you want to you're multi-passionate as a person, and you want to create a multifaceted business, right? One where you're able to integrate a lot of different ideas into one cohesive business. I'm going to tell you a story right now, actually. I'm not going to divulge the name of the student, but my very first round of empire building, when I offered one-on-one coaching calls, I don't offer them like as a package anymore, but you can still get them in my shop. But when I had the one-on-one coaching call option, I had a woman who had been to other business coaches and other courses and things like that. And she had a business idea where she wanted to integrate a few different pieces into her business. And I was like, yeah, we can do that. We can do that by putting this here and putting that here and arranging it this way. And she's like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. And she said to me, do you know how many business coaches told me I can't do all of the things? I can only do one thing. And I'm like, well, yeah, you're only going to do one at a time, right? Because if we do all of the pieces at once, it's going to take you forever to make any progress, right? I totally am someone who understands that the concept of taking small pieces, like small individual actions, will eventually build up to big things. But geez Louise, sometimes you have to have the patience of a saint, I think, sometimes, to have so many things going on and just taking little itty bitty steps every day. And I think for a lot of us, right, and definitely myself, I need to see that after enough period of time that I'm getting the results I want. So yes, she's not going to be able to. I told you, I'm like, you're not going to be able to do all of those things in one day, in 1 week, right? But here's a plan we can have where you build this part out, then you add this part, and you use this part. You just put that in, and you can have all of these things that you want in one. And I'm like, this sounds like an awesome business. Like this sounds like an awesome brand to me. And she was just so blown away that like I was the first person to tell her she could have all the things at once. Because I'm not going to tell you guys that you can't have all the things at once. Like you can have all the things at once. I want you to know that you can. You can't work on all of them and build them all out at once. But I'm sorry I keep touching my hair. I did a hair mask this week and my hair to me feels sticky or something. So if I keep touching my hair, keep messing with it, I'm so sorry. I should stop messing with it. I know touching hair sometimes grosses people out. But yeah, she was like, thank you so much for being the first person. I'm like, yeah, it all makes sense to me. I don't know what this other person was telling you, but I think this is a cool brand. And personally, as someone who's been on like the internet for a while and has been doing, I don't like to call myself an influencer, but I understand that I am an influencer to some extent. Hello, have you noticed how you can make your business even more special, niching it out by having all these different multifacets? So it makes you even more unique when you take a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a pinch of that and a sprinkle of that, right? That's awesome. So you can have all 10 of your business ideas if you want to, Jane Bailey, and you can blend it into one business. You're not going to be able to do all 10 projects at one time, but you can put it together piece by piece by piece. Oh my God, Teresa said I enrolled in Empire Building last week and I can't wait to get started. Awesome. Welcome, Teresa. Oh, and Kelly asked a great question. How many of you have the CEO Strategy Planner? Teresa does. She does because I don't know if you had it before, but you also have it for now. Oh, Jane Bailey also enrolled last week. I knew your name sounded familiar, but I didn't want to call you out. Let's see. Okay, I'm trying. Let me see if I can go back and see if there's any questions. There's a lot of chatter in the comments in the chat about needing pen on paper, using inserts. I'm definitely, obviously, you guys can see, I love inserts. Now, I also use my Apple Notes, right, to organize ideas, right? We checked off on my little list to update my organizational systems on my computer, and that's something I did. I think last month I did it, or this month, March. But yes, definitely, we live in an online world, and some digital things are necessary. But I still really believe in and like doing the brain dumping onto paper, doing the organizing, doing the seeing the things on paper, because a lot of times digital doesn't let you do that. BX Strawberry says, I love how she is juggling business and fun. Awesome. Thank you. Hope you're talking about me. Okay. So Carol says, I need to redo my pages. I have arrows moving things around all over the place. This is why I am never, I'm going to tell you right now, this is why I love digital inserts. This is why I love printables. I have no problem crossing things out and then rewriting like I did after I did my brain dump for this class, for this, for this quarter. I was like, I need to rewrite all of this. Like, I don't want to have X marks. I like it to look clean. And I have that ability, right? I can print out a new insert and really quickly just fill it out. And then it just makes you feel like, outer order, inner calm, when you're looking at your inserts and they look good. Now, I'm not normally someone who feels like your inserts have to be perfect. Absolutely not. But my business plans are important. They deserve to look beautiful and be freshly printed. Okay, so I'm trying to get down. Oh, Carol says, I love how Alexis shows us what she has planned. Really looking forward to insert design class. I know, Carol. I'm looking forward to it too. It's like, should have done it years ago, really. So Princess Kaya says, I hope I said that right, Kaha maybe? I'd love to work with you if you're offering direct one-on-one support. I am. So with this offer, you get the class and you get the group coaching. And within the Slack, if you have questions that you don't want to post publicly, you're able to DM me privately and get one-on-one support. But something I always say to everyone in the Slack, in the group coaching, is that if you have a question, please, as long as it's not too personal, right? Ask it publicly in the group, because I bet you if you have that question, other people have that same question, or that the answer that I give you and that, the group is able to actually, this is the thing about having a group is you have the hive mind, really. So sometimes I'll give you guys ideas and then other people will jump in with different life experiences and just different perspectives as like a consumer as well, right? Because we're all business owners, but we're also human beings and consumers as well. So when other people are able to give you their feedback, it even like increases the value. So yes, you absolutely get to work with me in the group coaching setting, but you also have the ability to message me directly. So it's not like you could never talk to me, Kelly says, control your content masterclass. I think she's giving me a idea for the content. I think I should call it something about editorial calendar, because really that's what it is. It's about creating an editorial calendar and how to create like lots of content in a short period of time. You guys know that, like, I don't know, I kind of feel like I'm like the queen of content to some extent. Like, how many other people who are on YouTube are doing their YouTube videos and multiple blog posts and still like doing on emails and Instagram by themselves still. Like, I'm still doing this by myself. I create all my by myself. I'm plural. I still create all of my content myself. So I have lots of tips for creating content ideas, how to reuse content ideas, how to batch create content, how to organize, your ideas, right? So I have lots of different strategies to show you guys with that. So it's about, getting that editorial calendar created, getting the ideas out, more so than it's about creating actual content, right? So that's what I wanted to call it, something with editorial calendar. That's why maybe you guys can understand, practically speaking, I called it like 5 different things in my planner because I'm like, whatever it's going to be called. Oh, and Carol says the guided journaling prompts are fantastic, so helpful in deciding what you want to do, even if you don't know what business you want to start. Awesome. Yeah. And that's exactly why I created them. I knew that we could, if I gave you guys the right questions to ask yourselves, you could journal out what it was that you really wanted and come up with your ideal business. Okay. Jane says, question, I have several business ideas. Should I be clear about which one to start before the 6 weeks start? Now, maybe we already kind of talked about this because we did talk about this earlier when I was going back, but I will say that no, I think you should, if you have multiple business ideas, like okay, if these are multiple ideas that you want to infuse in one business, I want you to come ready with your vision if you have it. If you're someone who doesn't have it, don't worry. We're going to build your vision in the group. But if you're someone who already has the vision, you're like, how do I just put it together? We can do that, right? I don't want you to just pick one to start with. Now, when we do this, I will tell you which one, I won't tell you which one to start with. That's your choice, but I will talk you through a process for identifying which areas you think you should start on, like what the priorities are to do first. You know what I'm saying? We can definitely identify that, and I can give you how you choose. It's not going to be my choice, but you can get my opinion if you want to. But because that's what I'm there for ultimately. But I will explain to you how you can choose which ones to go with. So don't discount anything. Come with all of it. And if you choose to focus just on one thing for the 6 weeks, that's absolutely fine. But at least I want you to know that that other stuff is there because it helps to know what's coming in the future. So you have space in your business. You make that space for the other things to come in. Let's see. This is great. I love that you guys are all giving your opinions too in here. Okay, let's see if there's another question. And I think Kelly had said this already. She's saying to scroll up from the bottom to see Jane's question. Okay. I think I already got it though. That was me right now. If you guys have a question, if you write question like in all caps first, I know it's not just you guys chatting to each other. Here's the college success professor says, thank you, Alexis. The CEO planner has been so helpful in helping me with planning, project management, and systemizing my business. Excellent. I'm so glad to hear it. That is what I made it for. Okay, Mary Catherine might have a question. I have to go back. Hold on. How do you set aside time for each item? Is that the question? Mary Catherine, I know you have a couple of in here. I'm going to see if you really quickly, if you reset it, how you estimate your time commitment to each element. Okay. So how you estimate your time commitment to each element. So if you're someone who is like Mary Catherine, who has a day job, you have other things that you're doing, the first thing that I really suggest when you're starting your business is to make like a business date with yourself for like a few hour chunk of time, 2-4 hours at a time, if you can spare that, at least one day a week. Right? So when I started my business, I also worked a 9-to-5 and I would be exhausted when I came home and really could do nothing. So it would be like Saturday and Sunday, I would do a little bit of work on my business. Now, when it comes down to like choosing the things that you need to start on, that the 4 quadrants that I talked about before, products, right? Actually having products to sell is very important. List building, right? Knowing how you're going to be getting people in, right? Like what strategies. Like for me with list building, like I do a lot of content and content marketing. I create lots of content and that brings a lot of different people to me. And I give them many opportunities to get on my list by giving them free things, like the CEO brain dump that I shared with you guys today. And that's how I get people kind of like in my world, right? That's how I like get people in and invited and like indoctrinated. Then marketing is the process for how you sell your products, your offers, right? Because it doesn't have to be physical products or anything like that. But there's something that you're selling most of the time. The very minimal, rare scenario is the person who really just does like YouTube or blogging just for the ad stuff, right? In that case, you know what your products are, or actually your content are your products. And that's how you should be approaching them, right? So that you're able to do things like, get sponsorship opportunities and things like that. So products, and actually, don't you see how in my brain I actually see the insert. So it's products, list building, marketing, and then development. So which is, where do you need to work on in your business? So really, when you're getting started from zero, right? You have to decide the things that are the most important pillars. You have to have like certain structures decided on. That's the 6 pillars of empire building. So that's branding, right? Which is where I always think is the best place to start. Because before you do anything, like you create any content, decide what platforms, before you have products, you have to know what that identity of that business is. And it's fine if you've started a business and you don't love your business name and you want to rebrand. But it's always easier if you've got the branding done first. So just choosing things. Really, branding is just choosing colors, choosing choices of your business name, making sure you secure all of those assets so you know what your business looks like what it looks like in a very high level view. Then we add in the platforms, because without platforms, you're not talking to anyone, you're not meeting anyone, you're not inviting anyone in. Next is the community building, right? Because in those platforms, we want to make sure that you're taking the actions that are necessary. It's more than if you think that you can just write a blog post, make a video. If you build it, they will come. Not true. You need to be doing certain activities, community building wise, and that kind of adds on to it. So you see, empire building was started with this idea, this model that branding was the foundation. Then we built on that with our platforms. Then we built on that with community building activities. Then we built on that by getting clear on what our marketing was going to be, right? How we were going to market, and really like the ways to get people on your email list or through funnels, things like that. What your income models were, right? And adding additional income, right? You could say that income really should come before marketing. And to me, they're really like at the same place, right? And a lot of times people, when they start empire building, once they get to a certain point, they know what they're going to be selling. So it kind of just naturally kind of merges together. I'm like in my head, like marketing, income, and then business administration is making it all work, right? It's like the icing on top of the cake, making it all work, making sure you're legit, making sure you're protected, make sure you have goals, make sure it's all broken down. I hope I'm answering this question. So, how to estimate your time commitment to each element. It's really just about setting very reasonable expectations, right? So, when we say branding, what are the necessary elements of branding that you need? When we say the platforms, what do you need? You need to build a website? Okay. And I can show you with empire building, I have resources for how you very quickly and easily build a website. My first website that I built from scratch, where it was like my own self-hosted, it took me like a day. Like it took me like literally like 2 hours, I think, to have like the website set up. And then I just went in and was messing with like settings for a while to make it look the way I wanted and like uploading pictures the way I wanted it and things like that, building out the structures of pages. And we talk about all of that in empire building. So how do you estimate your time? I hope I'm answering that question. You do it by knowing the areas that you need to focus on and working on them one by one and setting aside blocks of time to just get to work. And setting very reasonable expectations, right? Like knowing you just need to do a few key things in each bucket in order to make it happen, right? Like for me, like if you were going to say, Alexis, I'm going to give you, if someone said, Alexis, I'll give you an hour to make a product, I could do it, right? Like I could make an insert in an hour. You know what I mean? I could make it, design it, export it in an hour for sure. Like really 2 hours, I could have it live on my website. In 3 hours, I could produce a piece of content to promote it. Do you see what I'm saying? So a lot of this is starting and seeing how long things take. People always ask me, how long do I know how everything should take? Well, I can tell you how long about I feel like it should take by talking to other people or how long it took me. But it all depends on how focused you get and how much time uninterrupted you can give yourself to just sit and do the work. So I hope that makes sense. College Success Professor said, when is the insert design class? That's scheduled for June. Okay, so Okay, so here, Mary asked the question here. How do you estimate your time for each project? Maybe I answered it. Hopefully I answered it. Learning through doing, right? So learning through doing, trial and error. Like if you asked me how long it would take me to build my masterclass for next Saturday in the mastermind, I know the amount of time that's going to take me. Like I know I need like 2 to 3 days to be working on that. And by days, I mean like my work days are like 4 hours long. So it's just about sitting down and me doing it. Does that make sense? So really this is trial and error, right? I'm not going to be able to give you, when you say, Alexis, I want to build my business website, how long is that going to take me? I can give you a rough estimate. I only know from doing it myself. And luckily I do a lot of the same things over and over and over and over again. Edie says, question, how do I choose my niche? Well, that's up to you, right? So your niche, right, who you really want to talk to is really, this comes from really understanding who your ideal customer is, like your ideal customer, your ideal audience. Something that a lot of people misunderstand about business that really gets them into trouble in terms of overwhelmed time management stuff is they think that anybody could be their potential customer or client. But when you choose exactly one person, like one model person that would be your perfect person, and you create all of your products and marketing around that one person, you are zeroing in on a niche. Okay. So Edie, I know you do ADHD and you do math. So you in a way, you already have a niche, right? So you are going to be helping. I think you do tutoring, right? You're looking for tutoring, most likely, ADHD, children, certain age range, right? And really what you're doing is you're looking for their parents, because kids are never buying themselves tutoring. So you're looking for the parents of children in a certain age range that are working on certain types of math, right? And you could even specialize, like if you're looking for, like if you were trying to help like low income children, or if you were trying to help people in like the suburbs or the rural areas, like there could be someone who does tutoring in rural areas, right? So it's you're remote for rural people only that have a hard time getting tutors to come out because they live out in the middle of nowhere. You know what I mean? That is how much you can niche, right? So that is up to you how exactly you want to niche. But those are things that you'll think about, is like who exactly it is that you want to serve. One of my guided workbooks talks about how to like identify your ideal audience. And from knowing that ideal customer, you'll know exactly what your niche is, because you know what that person needs. Does the Insert Design class use InDesign? Yes. InDesign is the program, the premier professional program that you will need to use for that class. Yes. Okay, Mary Catherine George said, very helpful. Good. I'm sorry, I got a little confused with the first way you were asking it. So, and there's so many different directions I can take any question, really. You guys know I can talk for hours. Oh, and here's a really great point, that as you go through the process, you'll get faster at some of the tasks. And this is why creating systems, right, which I think we talk about in business administration, is very important for your business. Having like every time I need, so for example, here's a system that I do over and over and over for my business. I write blog posts. I do YouTube videos. Each of those are a system. There's a process that I follow to get those done. And that's why it can take me, I could write a blog post in like an hour. I can have like a blog post written and uploaded in an hour. Usually I like to allocate 2 hours per post, right? Because I like to have the buffer time. But that's why it's like one day a week. One of the things I do is write my blog post for the week, right? Because that takes up my 4-hour work time. Yeah, so the more you do it, the more you'll be able to create the system that works, that's optimized. And then you can cut out the extra junk that you don't actually need to do and just focus on the essential tasks. And you'll also be able to bulk your work when you have like a good system in place. Like theoretically, there have been times where I've filmed like multiple videos at one time. There was a time where I was always doing 2 in one day. I've since then stopped because I now only make 1 video a week. And so I would, sometimes I think I like to get back into that, but it's not necessary for me right now. I don't have the time management need for it. So I just let it be as it is. Oh, here's a great question. How do you break through a popular topic, niche, and make it unique? So, a lot of people think that if you are starting a business in a market that's already very saturated, that you shouldn't do it. But I think that that's totally not true. You just need to find the niche, the one person, the one unique person that you are serving. And a lot of times, that person, um, well, not just that person, but a lot of times your niche actually stems from you. Okay. So you know who it is that you want to serve. And you know who the person is that's the ideal person. You know what their pain points are, the problems that you can solve, the information that you'd want to share with them. Like if this person was your friend, you know what you'd be talking to them about. But another way that I find that niching can also work is that if you really just infuse your business with your own personality traits. So like the hobbies that you like to do, the shows that you like to watch, the way you like to spend your time, right? All of those little things can go into creating a niche of a business around you. And this is one of the ways that, like, actually, sometimes people will say, should I do a business that's just a generic big business, or should I be like the personal brand, right? We could say in my business, I'm the personal brand behind this business. No one thinks about Strange and Charmed and just thinks Strange and Charmed. You think me, right? Like, let's think like Target, for example. No one is thinking about Target CEO. Maybe someone here knows who Target CEO is. I don't. Because that's like a more generic brand. So if you have a brand that's a personal brand, right? You can just infuse your brand with elements of your own life, your own interests, what you're doing, what you're up to. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to share like TMI about your business. I'm very good, if you guys haven't noticed. I don't, there's actually I try to keep my personal life very personal, and not put that just for like people in my life. Like I don't share information. I've had some bad experiences sharing TMI and it just didn't work out. So, I've learned from my mistakes, and you pull back, and there's still plenty of things I can share with my audience on a regular basis that goes into my niche. If you follow me on Instagram, many times I will post what my top 3 was every day. I'll show you pictures of things that I'm working on, behind the scenes of like new projects that I'm working on. I'll show you guys what I'm eating, right? Like my mastermind members who are here know, like anytime I make a new meal, I show it to you guys. I forgot to show you guys my dinner last night, though. I should have taken a picture of it. It wasn't groundbreaking, but I think I'm going to have it tonight again. So if I do, I'll take a picture and I'll share it with you guys in the wellness group, in the mastermind. But, there's so many things that you can share that go into your brand. If I had to say right now for mine, like if we're talking about my niche, right? I have a niche of, my niche really is a budding business person, right? Who maybe came from a corporate job, had a normal job, would like to do their own thing, or wants to add more revenue in, right? They want to start doing some online things because they're interested in online business. They're interested in planning and productivity, right? That's something that's very important to them because they probably have a very busy, full life. They are, it's so funny when I share the Myers. The other day I shared on Instagram what your Myers Briggs type was, and like I'm an ENTJ. Everybody was like an INTJ. It was so interesting that like I'm like, oh, I really am attracting a very specific niche here, right? Of people that are very closely related to me. So I share things about my love for coffee, right? And I share like designer things, right? And like my designer planner, right? And so it's my community tends to be filled with people who, it's so funny to me, lots of you use half letter disc bound, right? Like that's your planner, is a half letter disc bound planner. Doesn't mean you're the only one. There's a lot of people in there because it's what I use. So it's like the things that I do end up attracting people to me. So I hope that makes sense, right? So if you're doing a personal brand, you can just very easily infuse your own personality into it, right? And it doesn't mean you have to get TMI. It doesn't mean you have to reveal your home address and your personal life and everything like that. But it means that you can share the things that you love. And naturally, the people that like those things too are going to be gravitated to you. Does that make sense? And here, Brandy says she's an ISTJ. That's like the first, I don't know, there was not a lot of ISs But do you see that we're similar in the TJ, right? So it's like I have a lot of people that are very similar to me. Yeah, Elegant Granny TV says, did I read that right? Yes, Elegant Granny. I'm like, did it say Elegant Grammy? Or Granny? Okay, ENTJ also. So I find that like I just naturally attract people who are very similar to me, right? That just tends to happen. And also my people are people who also love to do DIY. Like obviously you have to love DIY to like be in my community with my planners because my planners are all print on demand. I also have a lot of women who are like really into personal development. Oh, and like, okay, let's play a game here. How many of you here like crystals? Go ahead, put crystal in the, like the word crystal in the comments if you like crystals, okay? Let's try that, okay? Let's see, what else do I have here? Who here likes Chanel stuff, right? The brand Chanel. You guys can write Chanel in the comments, right? Everyone here loves planners. I'm just like not even going to be dumb about that. Candles. Who here likes candles? Okay. Like who drinks coffee? Bonus points if you have an espresso like me. It's just there's just so many things. How many people here love these pens? These Tombow markers. And I bet you if you love them, you even have the colors that I have, which I have this one out here is 992 and 942. Okay, we're starting to get some responses here. There's so many of us, you guys, so many of you are very similar to me. Like we could hang out, we'd be friends. Oh, that was a good one, Nicole. The color black. You guys know? I like the color black year round. Black is a genetic, like they say, like, what's that quote? Women who wear black lead colorful lives. Everything I have is black. This is matte black. This is like all this stuff up here is black. My candle right here was black. This was black. My planner was black. Who loves metaphysical stuff, right? I know me being called strange and charmed, and I call you guys my charmed ones. I have so many people who like metaphysics, right? Like, and I didn't even realize I have a lot of people who identify as Wiccan in my community, which was like not intentional. That's not me necessarily, but I'm totally open to you because you believe in a lot of the same things that I like to talk about. So let's see what we got here. I love this here in the chat right now. Crystals. My house is full of crystals. This is my goals. Elegant Granny is my goals right now because I'd love to have our house full of crystals. Crystals, the color black, candles, coffee, coffee. Chanel, yes. Chanel, I have the same hand lotion sitting on my desk. See, we're literally sisters from another mister. You know what I mean? Like a lot of us, I'm sorry because the lighting is so funny in here. A lot of us have a lot of the same interests, but you've been drawn to me because I've shared these elements of my personality with you. And you're like, oh, I like that girl. You know what I mean? Like Teresa's from New York. I'm from New Jersey. You know what I mean? Like, I know Mary Catherine's also from New York. Like it's, you know, your guys are going to have similarities with the people that end up following you, right? Because ultimately, like your followers, not saying that you should necessarily treat followers like as closely as you might friends, because obviously they're not necessarily people you've met, but they're people who from across the world have a lot in common with you and that you can share mutual interests with, right? Like, not to say that my business is my hobby, but like if it was just a hobby or whatever, we all have the same hobby. You know what I mean? Like we all have the same interests. Caramel macchiato for coffee to be specific. Oh, Teresa's got ton of Tombows. Oh, Kelly is a flare pen girl. Thank you for reminding me. Here is my Papermate flare. I posted this in my in the mastermind group the other day that my 3 favorite pens. I'm gonna grab them. Number 1 are all matte black. Let's put it against the white wall. I've got a Papermate flare here. I've got this cross ballpoint pen, which is like my everyday pen. And then I've got this gel pen from Amazon. That's like the best Amazon, like it's the best gel pen I've ever found. I really like fine point pens. Tell me if you're a fine point pen lady, okay? Like tell me if you like the fine points. Oh, although I go back and forth because I do like sometimes like to just write with a thick black marker too sometimes. Like I will use the black Tombow very often, this end to write with. I find it's like a nice, well, it's obviously it's big, but it's better than like using a thick Sharpie, in my opinion. So, okay, so I love crystals, and my name is Crystal. See? See, I'm just attracting all the crystals to me. Mary Catherine Brewer says metaphysics. Yeah, but black is a generic trait for me, right? Exactly, right? So, but there's people out there who like rainbow colors. You know what I mean? Like, there are people out there whose favorite color is purple, and like all their stuff is purple, purple, purple. And I don't know anyone out there thinking right now when I said that, I didn't mean to think about it, but I'm thinking there was a purpley planner girl like years ago. If you're an OG planner, tell me if you remember. There was the purple planner girl. I can't think of her. I don't remember her first name, but her like blog was like My Purpley Life or something like that. But if you liked purple, you were probably really into her. You know what I mean? Not that I have anything to say about purple. I just, black, white, cream, neutrals, I'm really into what's this, tortoise shell at the moment. Like it's just like what my style is. Let's see, metaphysical things all over my home. Metaphysic, and I identify as a Wiccan. See, like this is right. That's how this works. Okay. How can I re-download the print guide for the CEO Strategy Planner? If you shoot me an email, Nicole, or Nikki, I'm sorry. Nisi. Is that Nisi? I'm so sorry. Shoot me an email and I will resend it. Yep, fine point only over here. Me too. Love flares. Use them exclusively with the planner. I love the dark, super black ink lines. So do I. That's why. Okay, so for a very long time, I used Papermate Flare, and I love it because there's nothing better than this color in your planner. Okay, like there's nothing better than this color. But sometimes I found that it really just was like too thick. Like I just felt like it was too thick, and it really affected how much you could fit on inserts, which is when I kind of went through a period of like trying to find the best. I already put it down. Gel ink, like fine point, but then all of those gel ink ones would like run out, like, or they would skip so much. I would get so annoyed. And I know people like Carol are watching right now and they're like, why don't you switch to fountain pens? Because I've never been able to figure out fountain pens, and it's just one more complication in my life I can't get into right now. But I went to the gel pens, and now I've gone to ballpoint. Now ballpoint does not create the blackest line, but I found actually that this cross pen, this ballpoint ink, is actually pretty dark. It doesn't go like I feel like a lot of times ballpoint ink looks a little bit more gray, but I found that this one stays pretty dark and it just writes so smooth and it just feels so good in my hand. Like this is a really good size. I don't like really, really thin pens. I also can't use gigantic chunky pens. I have a very small hand. You guys couldn't really tell, but if you saw me in real life, it would be like my hand and then you'd be like your hand. Like I'm very small. I'm very petite. I'm very tiny, like short wise, like not width wise, that way wise. Yeah, so bold gel pens. So no one can be perfect. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, like I mean, like the favorite flares are bold, right? So, and of course, Kelly's favorite ink color is purple. Okay, well, I'm sorry. Crystals. My name is Chanel, so yes, love Chanel's. Love Chanel and My Purpley Life, and that's how I stumbled onto me. Oh, that's awesome, Yvette. Yeah, you've been with me for so long, Yvette. You're definitely one of the OGs. Yeah, here we go. I already saw it. Fountain pen, greater ability to create unreadable chicken scratch for me. Okay, so like, I don't know. I just can't get into the whole having to refill things, like having pieces. I had tried years ago fountain pens. It just didn't work for me. Teresa, can you post I'm assuming you mean a link to that pen. You have to be specific about which pen. And I probably have linked it, but yeah, it honestly is probably somewhere. Like I know I've linked all of my pens somewhere, but if you send me a message or something, I can do it. Nisi says, what is the mastermind group you mentioned? So today we are talking about business planning, right? So CEO Strategy Planner, empire building thing. One of the other things I have going on in my business overall is I have a planning and productivity mastermind. So that's where if you were watching and I said that I have like a masterclass every month that I do for my mastermind. I do not have a link. I don't think I have a link in the description of the mastermind because it wasn't like pertinent to what we were talking about today. But if you look on my channel, pretty much any other video, you'll probably, that's not just business related, you'll probably see a link to the mastermind. Or if you follow the links through Empire Building, like over to my shop, you'll see the mastermind. It's like it's a mastermind. It's a membership group. It's like a group coaching for productivity, personal development. And I do a masterclass every month there for my group. I do an office hours. I design all inserts for them. So a lot of the insert designs that I've been working on, like this year, from last year, I just give it to my mastermind people. I don't sell all of my inserts. I just give them to my mastermind. So yeah, it's just a way that you can be in my inner circle and get like daily accountability from me. We do accountability over there. And yeah, it's like a private Slack group. And we go on Zoom and we have classes and meetings and office hours. The pen you just showed, which I'm assuming is this cross pen, right? The cross pen or the Amazon gel pen. I'll link them all. Okay, so someone said that the best gel ink pen is the Pentel Intergel. This is the thing. I don't remember what that pen is specifically, but this is the problem. I know that there are many very good gel pens, but they are not pretty to me. And by not pretty, I mean they are not matte black in this size. Like, unless you're like in this range and matte black, I don't even want to see you. Like, I don't care. I tried friction pens for a while. I just didn't like the way they looked very much, like the plant. I don't know. I just like matte black. And so if Pentel Intergel, I'm in my head right now. I'm seeing that like gray gel pen that everyone like loves. It's just not a pretty pen, and I'm very much into the aesthetic. Okay, the cross pen. I got it off Amazon. I can find you a link. I mean, I bought all my pens off Amazon usually. Oh, here's a good question. And to clarify, you have to be in the mastermind for the insert design class, right? No, nope. The insert design class is a course that I'm building that's going to be open for everyone. So it's not one of my mastermind classes. My mastermind class for June is astrological insights, I believe. We do personal development and planning, productivity, time management. We do a lot of like the metaphysics stuff in the mastermind. But the insert design class, that's going to be a course that you guys are going to be able to buy. Okay. What is the name of the matte black pens again? Okay, so this one is a Papermate Flare. Everyone knows this. This is the one that's like the felt tip that makes a nice dark, thick black line. This one is from Cross. So CROSS. It's a Cross pen. It is a ballpoint pen. I bought it on Amazon. I just searched like matte black pen and like Cross, and you'll probably find it. And then the other one from Amazon, which is this gel pen, it had a generic like name. So I don't really know what this is. It doesn't have any branding on it, which I love. I love that it doesn't have any branding on it. You know, it's something I do sometimes. I didn't do it with these ones, but sometimes with my highlighters, I will like go, you know, I don't know if you guys know this, but like you can like totally just scratch off the writing on them. But then I realized like if I scratched off the number, I wouldn't remember what color it was necessarily, blah, 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 even though the cap has it. It's good for me for reference to have the number of the color for when people ask me which ones I'm using. So those are the pens. Okay. So we have been going for 2 hours. This is awesome. Last call. I think we're good at the end here. We've all been chatting. I think you guys have all seen all of the different, we've talked about a lot of different things, how we business plan. We talked about actually like allocating your time for planning on working on your business. We talked about how you niche down. So you guys, if you guys are here and you are someone who's interested in starting a business, reviving your business, growing your business, join Empire Building with me, please. It'll be an amazing 6 weeks where you've got so many different resources in there. You've got me. We've got the 3 new live classes that are going to be brilliant. I'm so excited to build those. I'm going to be a busy little bee for like the next like 6 to 8 weeks doing like classes every week, but I'm looking forward to it because this is some content I've been looking forward to creating for a long time. Lots of like strategy that I just can't wait to share with you guys. It'll just make your business life so much easier. So yeah, join me, right? And if you have any other questions, let me know. The link in the description will take you to the sales page. You can read more information. You can reach out to me at any time if you want to leave me a comment here or if you want to send me an email. You do whatever you need to do, and I will talk to you and answer your questions to make sure Empire Building is right for you. But class starts on Thursday, so this is the last hurrah. I'll be sending some emails out if you're on my email list, some final emails. But yeah, we're gonna basically be getting started on Thursday, and I hope to see you inside of the group. We're gonna have a great time. It's gonna be a tremendous value. There really is nothing like it out in the internet, as far as I'm concerned, in terms of what you're getting, the quality of the content, the access that you get to me, and the price point. So yeah, I hope to see you guys all there. Make sure before you leave, you give this video a thumbs up and feel free to share it with anyone you think would find it interesting. I so appreciate you guys taking your time out of the day to hang out with me today. I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful Saturday. For those of you who will be celebrating, or anyone who's Jewish, I know Passover is happening right now. So I hope that you have a lovely Passover. Easter is next week. You guys, I bought my French rack of lamb already, and I got my mint jelly chilling in the fridge. I'm so excited. Easter's like okay, all holidays are my favorite holiday because I make like so many good foods. But yeah, so I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I hope to see many of you inside of the course, the Empire Building course. Sure, if you guys want to join the mastermind, come on over there too. That's like an amazing value as well. So hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys later, okay? Take care of yourself. Love you. Stay productive. Have a wonderful week. Rest this weekend, please. Very important. See you later. Bye.